The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is celebrating 4 years this past March, and with news of Breath of the Wild sequel on the horizon this year, it's only a matter of time until we see what Breath of the Wild sequel has in store for us. However, until then, let's take a step back and look at Breath of the Wild's enemy variety. My name is HylianLuke, and today we are going to be talking about my top 5 enemies that should have been in Breath of the Wild. Keep in mind, this is merely my opinion, and if you have a different top 5 from mine, please feel free to comment yours. With that said, it's time to dive in and discuss my top 5 enemies that should have been in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Found deep within the forests of Hyrule grows the many life forms of Furore that uphold the law of Nehru. The growing, lushful grass blows in the wind as nature calls forth the passage of time. Here is where we can find the Venus flytrap-based enemy known as the Deku Baba. The Deku Babas, if you ask me, are a staple in 3D Zelda games. They appeared in every single 3D Zelda until Breath of the Wild. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. The deep forests and jungles of the Faron region would have greatly benefited from having some more nature-related enemies in its canvas, rather than the constant spread of forest Octoroks and Bokoblins. The Deku Babas would have also been a great source to gather sticks for weaponry, should you ever need them. Killing a Deku Baba could have produced a Deku Stick or a normal stick to keep the consistency going from Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and The Wind Waker. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword's Deku Babas didn't leave behind sticks upon death, however, so either decision would work. Found in the southwest portion for the Kingdom of Hyrule lies the vast Gerudo Desert. Its desert sands stretch out as far as the eye can see. The desert sands are a natural source for hydromelon to grow and be harvested in small portions. The tribe of the Gerudo, a tribe of exclusively women, or Vai, live in this heated wasteland. This is where the Legend of Zelda's desert enemy known as the Lever would have felt at home. The sands of Hyrule have been plagued by levers in past Zelda games, such as Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Minish Cap, A Link to the Past, Zelda 2, and even the original Legend of Zelda for the NES. The lever has appeared in more games than what I listed, so with such a good attendance record for the series, it really sucks to see them not appear in the game, despite how utterly annoying they can be. Found in the northeast portion of the Kingdom of Hyrule lies the rocky, molten fire abyss known as Death Mountain. Death Mountain, despite its intense heat, is home to the Gorons, a tribe of slightly humanoid rock people. This region, if you ask me, would have greatly benefited if Dadangos had made a return. Just imagine it, small groups of 2 or 3 Dadangos traversing around the molten rocks of Death Mountain. Then, Link could spawn a remote bomb from the Sheikah Slate to throw in their mouths and defeat as such. Dadangos have been around since the very beginning in the original Zelda. They've also appeared in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Twilight Princess. I vastly remember seeing footage of the E3 2016 demo for Breath of the Wild and being absolutely terrified of Divine Beast Vah Rudania's shadow in the distance. I originally thought that Rudania's shadow was a giant Dadango climbing around Death Mountain. A return of King Dadango was also in my thoughts originally before the game was released. Point being, I would have loved to see Dadango's return in this game. In the dark and yet mysterious forests just to the left of Death Mountain lies the Forbidden Lost Woods and the Thigh-Flow Ruins to the north of it. In these two sections of the forest, a deep fog and deep darkness looms within these woods. As creepy and as terrifying as it would have been, I would have loved to see the arachnids known as the Skulltulas make an appearance specifically in these two locations, and possibly even others. Skulltulas appeared in other Zelda games like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and even the DS titles Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. The Skulltulas would have been an absolutely terrifying spice to these areas if done properly. They could have had webs covering segments of the forests, and moments of jump scares with the Skulltulas jumping out of nowhere and attacking Link directly in an attempt to web him up in a cocoon. As a guy with mild arachnophobia, this addition to the enemy list in Breath of the Wild would have been horrifyingly wonderful. Looming deep within the darkest dungeons, dankest caves, and within the walls of Hyrule Castle lies a soldier loyal to the Demon King. Complete with unbreaking armor, swords, shields, and a combat warrior at heart, the Darknut Iron Knuckle is my #1 pick for an enemy that should have been in Breath of the Wild. I have both Darknuts and Iron Knuckles in the #1 spot because they're extremely similar in design and attack patterns. The Darknut and Iron Knuckle has always been a major threat to our hero in other Zelda games, like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and even Minish Cap. Darknuts and Iron Knuckles could have acted as another humanoid enemy Link came across rather than just members of the Yiga clan. Imagine them wearing corrupted segments of Hyrule's Royal Guard armor or corrupted soldier armor as they attack Link however they can. Just like Link, they can wield any weapon they can find and even steal weapons from Link if Link is down on the ground. Perhaps even Guardian-related looking Darknuts would work too, as a major threat to our hero and being one of Ganondorf's favorite enemies to throw at Link during near-end game segments. I think Darknuts and the Iron Knuckles should have been in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Thank you all so much for watching. As of this video, I haven't uploaded in a bit, so thank you so much for sticking around and supporting the channel. It really means a lot. What did you think of the video? What would your top 5 enemies that should have been in Breath of the Wild be? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell to be alerted on all upcoming uploads in the future. You can find all my socials in the description and even my Patreon page if you would like to check that out as well. With all that said and done, my name is HylianLuke, and I will see you all next time. Ciao!